Uh, okay, I'll get started. So, the idea for this project was basically a weather predictor. So it'll take all of the data in the past 20 years, and it'll look at the weather patterns, and then based on today's date, try to figure out, uh, or based on the weather that is given as today's, then it'll try to figure out what tomorrow's weather is. So I'll start by showing the data visualization. So this is so red is the pressure, which hovers like around the thousands. So the reason why we included pressure here as one of the data points was because pressure is a good indicator of cold and warm fronts. So it'll help us predict if it'll rain or if a period of inclement weather is coming. And then the yellow is the humidity, which in McKinney area stays pretty constant, though in 2021 we've had a bit of a spike. Uh, I guess after snowpocalypse, but typically it stays around zero. But obviously high humidity would be another indicator for cold weather, or relatively cold weather, I should say. Then the blue is the temperature. So, and then here's where we can see a lot of changes, uh, where it's like going like a sine function, because the weather it gets colder in the evenings, or not in the evenings, in later seasons, and then hotter in the higher seasons. It's in Celsius, which is why it is like in the 30s, usually 30s and 20s instead of the 80s and hundreds. And then the wind speed is pretty erratic. But we decided to include it anyways because it seems like it's a pretty important factor um, for the temperature. So so this is what it looks like. Uh, and so what it first does is when you first open it, it'll give you these coordinates. So what it does is it detects based on your IP address what these coordinates or where you are right now. So if if you had like a VPN, you could trick it to be somewhere else. Uh, and then it'll over here it'll show the prediction, and you can reset the coordinates in case you change it. And then if you press this, it'll predict the weather again. So right now it should be hovering around like the 70s. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's hovering around the 70s, and the reason for that is over here, it's showing the lowest data points as 77 or 73-ish, 80 to 73. So it hovers around there. It has the issue where it changes a lot based on. Uh,
Hey
uh,
Joseph, hey Indian, can I show the rest of the GitHub page?
yeah, yeah. Can you walk through the code?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just say the issue. The issue. So yeah, basically every time you do it, because we want it to be flexible to adapt to all cities based on where you put the coordinates. It doesn't. The model is being reset every time, so it's not like 100% constant. Plus, the amount of training data for each city is variable, and it doesn't factor in altitude. So if I was like at 2,000 degrees, or not 2,000 meters above sea level, obviously it'd be a lot colder for me than someone at sea level.
Yeah, so
Uh,
we actually tried to get find something that can detect altitude because there's actually an altitude parameter included in. I remember in one of in the point there's like a point where it gets the point of where you are, the coordinates. So there's actually an altitude, but thing is we try to find we use geocoder and we try to find it, but the thing is things are cost money these days and you can't